Hi, my name is Hedley Lewis and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for CHOC, Childhood Cancer Foundation South Africa.
I'm Daniel McKenzie. I'm the Executive Director of Kids Can Zimbabwe, a non-profit organization supporting childhood cancer in Zimbabwe.
My name is Haley Arsenault.
My name is Ryan Mwira Kenyanjui. I'm 7 years old.
My name is Anne Wanjiongete, mother of Ryan Mwira Kenyanjui. He's the only baby boy that I have.
My name is Sydney Chahonyo, cancer survivor who just recently celebrated 20 years of being cancer-free.
CHOC is an organization which augments the medical fraternity within our country. An organization that supports these heroes, the doctors, the nurses, the therapists, to support patients and their families who are going through the treacherous journey of either childhood cancer or rare blood disorders. Our organization, as an augmentative organization, supports these families with the likes of housing, psychosocial support, nutrition, and various other supports in order to just reduce their anxiety just a little bit.
On 2023, Ryan was having an non-Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. On 21st of March this year, he was done a biopsy. The result was out on 10th of April, which I sent the result to the doctor. She told me I should take Ryan back to the hospital to start the medication again because the disease come back as a relapse, ALL, and it is a leukemia.
I want to be a footballer like Ronaldo.
I kind of have a crazy life story, but it all began when I was diagnosed with bone cancer at age 10. And I remember when I first heard the word cancer as a 10-year-old, I was so scared because I didn't know you could have cancer and survive. But then a few days later, we went from our home to a different state to be treated at a hospital called St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And as soon as I walked in the doors there, I felt hope. I felt like I was going to be okay. And to treat my cancer, I had to have chemotherapy for a year, and I also had to have surgery to save my leg because the bone cancer that I had was in my leg, and the surgeons had to remove that bone and put a metal rod called a prosthesis in my leg. And during this time at St. Jude, I just fell in love with the hospital, and I told everyone that when I got older, I would come back and work at the hospital to help other kids with cancer. So I kept my dream, and almost 20 years later, I started working at the hospital as a physician associate.
We all have challenges. Cancer is the same in any continent. Children are children, cancer is cancer. The treatments are the same. But why in the continent, in sub-Saharan Africa, our survival rate's low? And one of those challenges that we all face is the cost of treating cancer. It's awareness on childhood cancer. It's very sad to say that many of our people, our families, our parents, our teachers, our doctors and nurses even, do not know that children do get cancer. And yet the sad thing about that is that if detected early, no child should die of cancer.
My cancer journey started in 2004. I had just finished high school and I was waiting to fly to the United States to do aeronautical engineering. Unfortunately, that's when I started getting symptoms, very mild symptoms, mild headaches in the back of my head, flu symptoms, and nose bleeding. But initially the symptoms were so insignificant that I didn't think there was much of a problem. But with time, the symptoms got worse and worse. The symptoms got more severe. The flu symptoms were more severe. The headaches were more painful, and the nose bleeding became more frequent. But still with that, I didn't really feel like it was something big. I would try to self-medicate, go to a pharmacy, but I never really thought that there was something serious wrong with me.
In Zimbabwe, 60% of our patients present late. The reason being, again, lack of information, lack of knowledge, and also the fact that the closest people to support them are faith healers and traditional healers. And what we're saying is that we need to make noise about childhood cancer. Cancer is just a name. It's not taboo. There's a huge stigma about and around cancer. And all we want to advocate and share with the globe is that cancer is just a disease. Present early. Give our clinicians the opportunity to treat your children. If detected early, just remember, no child should die of cancer.
And then I get this incredible, life-changing opportunity to go to outer space. And this mission to space was being used to raise money for kids with cancer and for the hospital where I was treated and where I'm now working. And so I went to space. I became an astronaut as also a St. Jude ambassador and orbited Earth for 3 days. And through my mission, helped raise about $250 million for children with cancer all around the world. And it feels very full circle in many different ways that I was a kid with cancer. Now I work with kids with cancer and became an astronaut to help kids with cancer.
There is one organization by the name is the HCK, Hope of Cancer Kid in Kenya. And I came to know Hope of Cancer Kid through Muriugi. And I met one of my sister. She's Juliana Wangoi. And she's very helpful to us.
Hope for Cancer Kids is an organization that supports children who cannot afford cancer treatment. We all know how difficult it is accessing cancer treatment, especially in low and middle income countries, where the costs are not necessarily covered.
When the Hope of Cancer intervened in my card, they support me with 80% because I could not manage to pay for my card. And then the journey was very easy for me. That's when I managed to be calm and to be cool, because I was like somebody who was going in metallic problem, and that's when I came to manage everything. After Hope for Cancer, they intervened.
In 2008, when the organization started, they started by helping a few people to access cancer treatment by paying the National Hospital Insurance Fund here in Kenya, so that the parents could be able to access free treatment in public referral hospitals. At that time, they were supporting about 16 children per month. As of 2025, the organization is proud to say that we support over 467 children per month by paying those premiums so that they can access cancer treatment. Aside from that, the organization is involved in providing psychosocial support for the children through our art therapy program, which we run every Thursday at Kenyatta National Hospital at the Pediatric Oncology Ward. We also listen to the patients and give them that support that they need, because sometimes some of them just want to be heard, someone to listen to, a hand to hold. So we get calls at all sorts of hours asking us questions. What is chemotherapy? What is my child going to go through? How am I going to pay for this treatment? We step in and not just give them access to treatment, but we give them hope. And we walk with them through the journey from beginning to end.
For us at CHOC Childhood Cancer Foundation South Africa, a barrier which could seem a small thing, but really could be quite treacherous, could be in the form of just transport money. So small amounts of transport money in the form of maybe the cost of a coffee cup could be the barrier to a child receiving millions of rands worth of treatment. For us, other barriers could be just the early detection. And we spend a lot of time with communities, with doctors, with nurses, with educators, in partnership with our Department of Health, in order to spread the word on what are the early warning signs, what are myths and stigmas, making sure that every child will have the opportunity to receive this life-saving treatment. For us, this treatment is about hope, it's about survival. And we hope that every child has the opportunity to be referred as early as possible, diagnosed as early as possible, and hopefully receive the best possible outcome.
When they come through to the hospitals, we support with admission packs, because often they do not know when they get to the hospital that they will have to stay for a longer period. So all they have is what they're wearing on that day and what they have. So these are just basic things: toothbrush, toothpaste, clothes, pads for the women, etc. And then on top of that, as in many other countries, our health systems are very challenged, and this is where we come in to support with clinical support. We support with diagnostics, and I'm talking of X-rays, CT scans, MRI scans, blood tests, etc. And then on top of that, children need the medication, and that is chemotherapy drugs. And we as a foundation support that as well. And in order for the children to do well and recover, nutrition for us is the best treatment to childhood cancer. The more children can eat, the better and faster they can also recover. And so we support with that as well. And then we're just very blessed that in 2023, we opened the very first cancer home away from home, the Rainbow Children's Village in Zimbabwe. This is a home where we offer nutrition, we offer just a home where children can be children, hence the name Rainbow. We support sick children, but I'm glad to say our children are sick but happy children.
I wrote a book about my experience called Wild Ride, and the main message I wanted to share with other people going through cancer is that you can make it through this, and how important hope is in that journey. Because when you're going through cancer treatment, it can feel very overwhelming, and it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel and know that you're going to be okay. But what helped me on my journey, what was so vital for my recovery, was having hope. Hope that I would get better, hope that there will be better days ahead. And I wanted to share that message of hope with other patients going through the same thing. And not everyone has childhood cancer, but everyone has something in their life that is difficult and can help, and it can take away their hope. But what I've learned in my journey is just to never give up.
You find that patients come from 300-400 kilometers away from Nairobi to seek treatment. First of all, they're already in a state of poverty. They don't even have transport to get to Nairobi. When they come to Nairobi, they don't have accommodation, they don't know what they're going to eat. So sometimes they delay treatment, and this leads to them not adhering to the treatment protocols and reduces the chances of their children surviving. So for me, what it would take is actually an effort by all of us. It's not about one person. It's not about the government institution or a non-profit like Hope for Cancer Kids. It's all of us involved, including the general public. We need to come together to support these children. We need to come together and come up with child-friendly policies in the childhood cancer space. We need to ensure that the National Cancer Control Strategy, which has pillars on childhood cancer, is not just a document that sits in a shelf somewhere, that it is implemented everywhere. We need donors, we need individuals to come in, we need corporates to come in, we need the general public to come in. Number one, to help us raise awareness so that you reduce treatment abandonment by making sure that people understand what cancer is and what you need to do when you get a cancer diagnosis, and actually also where to get the treatment.
For us, it's about getting that message out. Our teams across the country educate, train and support. So from education all the way through to the nutritional support, the home, the accommodation, every single component is essential to this journey of life, the journey of hope.
Cancer should not define who you are. Cancer cannot stop you from being what you want to be. So be positive and have hope for the future.
To parents, you are the first doctors. If you suspect something is wrong with your child, seek medical treatment immediately. You know, often when it comes to cancer, for example, and I'll give an example of cancer of the eye, retinoblastoma, the first thing that you see is the speck in the eye. A lot of our parents, a lot of our communities think it's possibly, you know, a cataract, you know, because granddad has a cataract, you know, and you think, oh, it'll go away. You know, all I ask is that if you suspect something is wrong with your child, if we look at a Wilms tumor, for example, you know, the swelling of the belly, mothers again, all we ask is that, you know, be a mother, look at your child's body, play with your child. You know, often it's only probably relatives, it's often even the housemaid that discovers that there's something wrong with the child. If you see something, refer your child to the nearest clinic. And that's all I ask, because remember, if detected early, no child should die of cancer.
Aside from raising awareness, we need to raise funds to be able to ensure that every child has the same chance that I had in terms of having access to treatment and having early detection.
As a childhood cancer survivor, I know how critical access to care is. At St. Jude, I had the resources I needed to survive, but in Sub-Saharan Africa, the story is sometimes different. Many families have trouble affording transportation to the hospital, let alone the necessary care for their children. That's why I'm asking you to join me in supporting Hope for Cancer Kids. Your donation can fund transportation, accommodation, and care for kids who need it most. Together, we can bridge this gap. Visit Hope for Cancer Kids website to support these kids, because where a child lives shouldn't determine if they live.
If you want to support us, you can get in touch with us. Our details will be right here, our telephone number, our email address, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. You can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn if you want to contact us. And please feel free to get in touch, ask your questions, and find ways that you can get involved. Aside from financial donations, we also are looking for people to help us. Volunteers who want to give up their time, people who have expertise in certain areas. For example, if you're a lawyer and you find I might not be able to come for the art therapy classes, but I can give you legal advice. That's the kind of support we're looking for. If you've just finished school and you're looking for somewhere to, give back to the community before you go to university, we are the right person to come to, and we can help you hone your skills while also teaching you about giving back, paying it forward. But most importantly, please feel free to reach out. There are various ways you can get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to guide you in the best ways that you can support us.